Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Readout. Today we are checking out Confession. Story 1. I don't pay for the grocery bags at the store. I always click 0 bags when I check out. I'm already paying so much for groceries. Story 2. When I was a young woman I hit a custom-made truck and lied. When I was 20 I had brought in my car I share with my then boyfriend at the time for an oil change. I parked next to this big custom-made Ford 3500. My car at the time was a Ford Focus and I thought I had the clearance. My car scraped the underside of this truck and scuffed my headlight. I told the techs someone had backed up over my car at work and asked how I could fix the scuffs. They advised me how to and I thanked them for it. To the owner of the truck, I am incredibly sorry for hitting your truck. I know realistically I probably did minimal damage but it still eats at me years later and I hope you understand I punish myself for it daily over it. Sad face. Story 3. I saw a woman drop her glasses at the DMV and I didn't do anything about it. She stood up after getting her picture taken and the glasses fell. I figured she'd notice, so I ignored it. But I watched her walk past them when she was done at the counter and walk out. They're still on the floor and I feel horrible for not saying anything. She was maybe in her 60s, so she'll be looking for them later and might not remember having taken them off at the DMV. I could have spared her so much worry, but I just did nothing. Story 4. When I was younger I saw a lady drop $100. I picked it up and used all of it on Yu-Gi-Oh cards right in front of her. Basically, she dropped the $100 bill in one of the aisles of this game store. I picked it up and I remember wanting to give it back, but I was there to get Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I had recently lost all my good cards to my friend in a bet, so this was a miracle of sorts to make a solid comeback. So I kept it. I thought the woman had left the store so I went to go purchase my cards. Right as I gave my money to the cashier, she walks up behind me watching me buy my $100 worth of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. This isn't a normal thing to do. She said nothing though and I left before she went to go buy her items so I didn't have to see the look on her face when she realized. There is no doubt in my mind that once she realized she was $100 short, she would make the assumption it was the kid in front of her in line who spent $100 on cards. I just want to say, I am a different person now. Smiley face. Story 5. I stole someone's shoes. They walked barefoot home. For context, I live in a country where taking off your shoes in school is normal. When I was in elementary school I kept seeing an amazing black pair of sneakers in the hallway. I saw them week after week, thinking they had lost their owner. After some thorough thinking, I put them on and walked away, happy with my new shoes. Fast forward a week, a teacher comes into the classroom and offers a finder's reward to anyone who could find some missing black sneakers. That's when it dawned on me that someone did indeed own them, and was just putting them on the same spot every time they took them off, making it look like they were abandoned. I kept my mouth shut. And yes, I was wearing those sneakers on my feet during the announcement. I could have informed the teacher I found them and claimed the reward, but that would have been very unethical. I later discovered that the shoes actually belonged to somebody I knew, and found out they had to walk home barefoot that fateful day, as he told me that in person. To this day, nobody knew it was me, and I never told a soul until now. I think about those shoes on a monthly basis now 20 years later. Story 6. I have been lying to everyone about my past and it's only a matter of time when it all blows up in my face. It's where to start, but this particular thing is weighing heavy on my mind and heart. I'm an addict. My entire family are addicts/former addicts. Not a single person in my life, past or present, knows this about me. I have lied and portrayed to them all that I'm perfect. My life is perfect. And I'm the lucky one since I never became addicted to anything. Why? I didn't do this to look down on them, in fact it was the complete opposite. I wanted them to believe they had someone solid/sober they can rely on for any type of support. And I did all of that for each and every one of them. I am the person they can go to for anything and they know I will do anything in my power to be there or do as they need. Anyway, none of that does not excuse the lies I've told for almost 20 years. It started after a surgery when I was younger and OFC became addicted to pain pills. Worked my butt off to support my habit and I was always so proud I didn't have to lie or steal to feed my habit, and also I think why I didn't think it was as bad as them BC they all were doing all of that plus some. It just thinking as I'm writing this. And then discovered Suboxone. The best and worst thing in my life. Yes, it helped me become sober and out of that lifestyle of stressing and worrying on getting that next pill. But I just switched one addiction for another. I am still on subs to this very day. Sure, my family may never know, but my partner is inevitably going to find out. I have to go to meetings and see my doctor every month. I have them on me always, and it how he hasn't discovered them in my purse or questioned the monthly appointments. I just know that when he finds out, he will not understand and will leave me. It's scaring me, but I'm in too deep now with this lie. It's been years, but I am tired of the sneaking, hiding, and lying. I'm considering telling my family, since they are all finally clean and sober and it's been long enough that I don't think it'll mess with anyone's sobriety. And then break it to my so, and in the meantime have a backup plan for my living situation. Lots to think about. Story 7. I spent $344 on concert tickets and lied to my mom about it. I was planning on going to the TV Girl concert in September with a friend, who just recently cancelled, so now I have to find someone else to go with or else I won't be able to go. She told me not to buy both of our tickets, but I really liked this person, so I did it anyway. They were significantly cheaper than the ones on Ticketmaster. However, I didn't do my research and bought fast pass lane tickets instead of the actual concert tickets. I plan on having my mom take me to Orlando anyway for the concert and just buy the show tickets at the box office of the venue or something, because either way, I'm pretty sure I will not be getting that money back. Now here's the problem, my mom keeps asking me for money. At first it wasn't a problem because it was small stuff like $5 to $10. It escalated very quickly and now she owes me $95. I no longer have any money, but she doesn't know this. I'm scared she's going to ask for more. My plan is to just lie and say something took almost $400 out of my account and I've been trying to get it back, but nothing's working. I don't feel guilty, because I'm tired of her asking me for money, but I am extremely upset that I didn't do my research before buying tickets, and I'm upset I didn't listen to her. Story 8. I've been stealing water bottles from Planet Fitness for months. Just as the title says. Before you all judge me for my abhorrent crime, please hear me out first. When I first started my fitness journey, I went on a guest pass with a friend. Back then, I knew the water bottles were $1, and I followed the rules. Eventually, I bought my own membership. The first day I went in as a full-fledged Planet Fitness member, I went to the counter with water bottle in hand as usual. The cashier tells me, "Oh, you don't have to pay. The first bottle is free for members." Now, I interpreted this as the first water bottle of the session was free. Many weightlifters like to bring their own gallon-sized water bottles, so in my humble opinion, I did not think it odd that gym goers would down several water bottles in one workout session. So began my unintentional career as a water bottle thief. Every day I went to my local Planet Fitness, I would walk right to the fridge and pull one out for myself. I swear, there were employees that would watch me do this and say not a word. Perhaps they were too intimidated by my bold gesture to say anything. This went on for months. That is, until today. Displayed on the fridge was a sign clearly stating protein shakes and water must be brought to the counter and bought before being consumed. Apparently my waternapping habits have been so frequent and cutting into Planet Fitness profits so much that a whole ass sign had to be made for my benefit. They could not say this to my face, so they went the passive-aggressive route. So not only am I guilty of killing the planet by not using a reusable water bottle, but I also guilty of the highest crime an American can commit, stealing a low-value item from a multi-million-dollar company. I can only hope that if there is a God, that they are forgiving of my sins and that I am not entirely irredeemable in the eyes of my fellow man. Story 9. I lost a girl's her father last gift and I refused to answer her when she asked. Back in 6th grade, I borrowed a girl's calculator. At the end of the class, I forgot who let me borrow their calculator, so I just gave it to some random dude, who I think it was. The next day she asked me where is her calculator, realize my mistake, but I told her I wasn't the one who borrowed it. She then goes around ask if anyone takes it. Desperate, she yelled it was her father last gift before he passed away. That made me felt even more guilt. She asked the security guard to check the camera. It was clearly me. She asked me once again but I refused to speak. She kept asking, desperate for an answer from me, and ended up crying. I said nothing and just casually walked away. I didn't see her ever since. And this haunted me for years. Everyone stopped talking to me. I really want to apologize to her, but I can't, it's too late. I have no idea what was her name even though we learned in the same class. I was that horrible kind of person. Now I'm here, confessing to my wrongdoing, I feel a lot better. Sorry for horrible English. Story 10. I used to sell CBD as weed to a ton of college kids. It was in 2017 to 2019 I needed the money and would sell it as sativa. Normally you just get CBD that matches your current batch and mix 15%, 30% in. I was doing 100% in a lot of cases and it sucks I know. I felt shitty but a 200%, 700% profit was hard to ignore. I got in and got out fast. Made some enemies, lost friends, had to physically hurt people I liked for money. My advice is don't scam. I have real job now. I sell windows. Story 11. I used to physically hurt my baby brother out of sheer frustration. I never hit my little brother before, until he was around 3. I love him to death, and to this day I can't understand why I did it ever at all. When COVID started and online schooling began, I was 16 and a junior. My baby brother, about 3 at the time, was now in my possession because he didn't like his babysitter and she didn't want to take care of children any longer out of fear of getting the virus. Understandable. I agreed to this because I was used to taking care of him. I took care of him more than his dad spent time with him. Well, fast forward to maybe a few months. He wasn't a horrible child at all. He was a sweet, kind, fun, loving baby and showed me everything he thought was cool and just wanted to play. Since all of us in the family were older than him, he felt more alone. Yet, whenever he'd do a normal child thing like spill milk because he wasn't thinking or throw things for attention, I would yank him by the hair or spank his bottom. There was 2 times I heard a pop when I pulled his hair and I can't get over it all because I was a moody teen. His pained cries haunt me and make me cry myself to sleep. Even worse was when I'd open my arms to apologize, he'd run right to me and cry into my shoulder, and I'd cry quietly instantly regretting it like a little bitch. I stopped the second time I pulled his hair too hard, I remember it so vividly. I cried so much because it took me so long to finally stop being so angry and calm down before dealing with him. I want to apologize to him but he's only almost 5 and still loves me to death, he chooses me over everyone else in the family. The remorse eats at me every day. I choke up just thinking about this. I just wish I'd never done it but I can't undo it. It really eats at me that he still misses me and talks about me every day since I moved out almost a year ago. Edit. I no longer live with him and haven't in almost a year. Whenever I visit him, he always wants to play and talk to me and no one else in the family, and it really strikes me how he could. I know I didn't hit him mostly but I also would think he'd remember it. Anyway, the fact that he cries when I leave and asks my sister when is she coming back? Can she stay for a long time? Is what's really messing with me. Don't know if he doesn't remember because he was so young but I remember abuse all the way from when I was 2. Thank you all for the brutal honesty and I'm somewhat shocked some people are being understanding of my situation. EDIT2, sorry I had to add, I'm thinking of moving back there with him because he's also mistreated by our mom and his older brother is such a dick to him. I know I won't let my frustrations out on him this time. BC it stopped a little less than halfway through the time I was watching him. No one really cares about him and his well-being, just an annoying child who gets bought toys when he wants it and gets hurt, almost like an exchange. I'm grateful he doesn't get beat at all the way I was every day, but I can see the light in his eyes and his personality dulling, and it hurts so much to see. I am not sure about moving back yet though. Thanks all. That's all for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.